chase with us. Cloud chasing, come chase with us. Come chase with us. Come chase with us. Look, now my vape, she a monster. Blowing more clouds out her mouth than a roster. Your vape, she's an imposter.
Hi guys, Polish Vapes UK back again. Today you're going to be having a look at the Rose V2 clone. Really nice. Letting you guys know where I picked this up from. I did have a little trouble. Obviously I've been saying for a while that I was going to get hold of one. And a lot of places are sold out at the moment. I've been looking. But I did find one place in the UK that stock it, which is Vapor Station. I picked this up for £20 and it was £2.50 postage. And they are in Devon. Don't know if they've still got any in stock, but the only company that I could find that still had them in stock, they are selling out quite quickly. Even Fast Tech, they are completely sold out. So if you want to go and have a look, I will link the website in the description where I got it from. And it is a really nice tank, and like I did say, this probably will be the tank that I'll take to Vape Jam, just because it's easier, and I'll probably will have a dripper, but I'll be using this most of the time. It's easier, especially if I'm going to be filming and walking around and trying to vape. It's a little bit easier. So we'll take a toot and then we'll dive down close and we'll have a little look. Right guys, down with the Rose V2. This is the box that it come in. Pretty standard. All it's got is Tobacco, the Rose logo, and then the Rose V2. Slide that off. This is what it looks like inside your box. You've obviously got your Rose V2 there, and your little stand. That is really nice. I like that little stand. When you do first get this, it does come with, if I can get it out, when you first get it, it does come with the stainless steel part on there, but I prefer the clear so you can see your juice. I can't think off the top of my head now what that is, but I do prefer that, so that's why I've got that bit on there. But you've got the choice. You can have a complete stainless steel if you want, but I prefer just to stick with the clear section. And then you've got this little box which has got all your little parts in it. You've got your little tool there for tightening up and undoing the bottom if you need to, and your Allen keys, which I'll show you what they're for in a minute. You've got another spare cup as well, which you don't have to use these, but I have used it. And then you've got some spare O-rings and some spare Allen key screws for your coil when you're tightening up your coil. And then also some camphor wire and some wick, which I've not used this wick. I've stuck with using the cotton, which there are a few ways of putting this together, which I will run through. I'm not going to take apart the build that I've got, and it really is down to each person how they prefer it to be wicked. So another reason I'm going to keep the wicking in there, because I've got it a good setup of how I like it. Again, there are a few different ways which I will try and run through and explain how you can wick it. So we'll look at this bottom base first. You've got your 510 threading on one side, so you can screw it in if you want to use it as a stand, or if you want to use it to build on when you're building your coil. On the other side you've got a slot for your drip tip, which I will show you when I fill it up. You can use it for filling. And then on this bottom part here you've got like a little special key. You've got two little bits that stick out there, and you've got two holes on the bottom of the rose you can use for undoing it and tightening it up, as you can see. And there I've got, it's comes out at 8 ohms, and that's how I've done my cotton, which I will explain in a sec. As you can see there, you've got your little hole. If you want to take this bottom base off, which I think I can do actually, it shouldn't affect my build. This is what this little pole's for. Again, place your in your key. Always as well, guys, if you get one, do make sure that it is tight, because you don't want that coming loose. When you do, just use it to, God, this one's tight. I haven't actually undone this yet. Doesn't want to come undone. There we go. See, it was tight on there anyway. And there's obviously your bottom case. I have checked a couple of these reviews. Just have a smell. Yeah, all I think that is condensation. So every once in a while you might want to just take it off and give it a little clean up. And then obviously you've got your airflow ring there, which I'll show you a bit closer when I've got it on. And obviously your connector there, which connects to that metal plate on the bottom there. And that's all that is really. But all you want to do is make sure that is done up tight. You don't want that coming off when you're taking your rose off your device, or when you're unscrewing it to fill up the juice. So that's what that bar's for. Just make sure it's nice and tight. You don't want that coming undone. And then obviously on the side you've got an Allen key there and an Allen key screw there, which is just for when you put your coil down into the bottom, it just slots into two little holes and you tighten it up from either side. I'm trying to think. Obviously your airflow, guys, you can make it smaller and shut it off completely. I do believe it's a 2mm hole, so, and it works pretty fine. This is a tight draw. It's more for a mouth to lung than a lung hit. You can lung hit it, but it's a lot better with mouth to lung. And I would say I've been using 12 milligrams, which I can use sometimes when I'm dripping. But where these tunnels, if you look at the drip tip, these holes are so small, you get quite a lot of a throat hit. So you really want to use a lower nicotine, because the throat hit is pretty strong. So I'll go through the wicking of the cotton in a minute. Obviously I've just shown you the drip tip. This is not a removable drip tip, because obviously it is on to the tunnel which goes over your build, so you can't remove that drip tip. It is built in. And then you've got your three sections. You've got your bottom section there, and then obviously your clear section, and your top cap there, which is quite heavy. It is stainless steel. It is quite a chunky little set up. If you want, I'll quickly show you what it would look like in complete stainless steel. Still looks nice, but obviously you can't see what juice you'd have left in it, so it's a bit of a pain, but if that's how you like the look of it, again, everyone's opinion, but I prefer to have the clear on there so I can see my juice. The threads aren't too bad, not as good obviously as the Authentic, which the Authentic is selling I believe for £120, which is quite a lot of money, especially for a tank, and from the reviews that I've seen of the Authentic, there isn't really a big difference. I know a lot of people moan about clones. Obviously the company take their time and effort in building these tanks and devices, and then someone goes and makes them and sells them for a lot cheaper. But when you look at it as a price, not everybody can afford £120, and when you can save yourself £100 and have practically the same thing, I can't see why there's such a big problem with this. I do understand it is copying. Maybe they shouldn't be putting the rose written on the bottom, just leave it blank. It doesn't make a difference to me if it works the same, looks the same. It doesn't need to have logos over them, but again, it's not my choice, it's theirs to put it on there. It doesn't really bother me if it's on there or not. If you want to check out a really in-depth review on the Rose, go and check out P. Bizzardo. He's just done a review on the Rose V2, which I will put a link in the description. His goes into very good depth of the build, and he does go through some of the coil setups you can choose for your wicking. The one that I've done is one strand of cotton through your coil, and then I've put it through, wrapped it back over, and then through the other hole and then back over, and repeated that on both sides. The other one you can do is when you've put your cotton through, you can split your cotton in half on each end and then just thread it through both of the wells there. Or if you wanted to use the bit of string cotton that you get with it, you can fold it over, use a bit of camphor wire or something to poke it through, because it is quite a small area to get through. Pull it through and then just snip the bit of string in half, and then again just poke them both through the holes. I've found this setup's worked best for me. I tried splitting the cotton, it was okay, but it didn't quite wick very well. I may do a build video on this at some point, but at the moment I didn't really want to take it apart, because it took me about a week to get it exactly how I wanted it, and I didn't want to take it apart and have to keep building it again until I get it how I want it. So obviously you can place a drip tip in there. If you look, there's quite a small gap, but still really easy to get your juice in there. And where this isn't fixed, you can just make sure it's right up to the top, because there is obviously a little O-ring on there that stops your juice from coming through when you're filling it. But there is a little bit of play, so you can push it to the side so you can get in there a little bit easier. So I am using the G35 from the Standard Vape which I put it into my own bottle, which has got a dropper instead of the square bottles. So all you do, guys, is just a little touch to push that to the side. Just put your dropper on the side of the tank and it will just run down the side, and it won't go in to that channel there. It will just slide along the side of the tank, and then all I do is keep checking it to see when it's up. Once it gets up to the line of the clear tank, you're pretty much spot on then. So I get this filled up. It's about halfway now. It's pretty spot on there. So if you can see, guys, I will just bring the camera up. All I've done is gone up to the top of the clear bit of the tank, and that is pretty much when you know that you've got it full. If you can see there, guys, I must have got a little bit down the middle there. It's come out the drip tip. Then all you want to do is take it out. When you put this on, keep it upside down, guys, because you're going to want to do something else in a minute. Use your key if you want to, just make sure it's tight, and then before you tip it up, push the drip tip back in and screw it right down onto the threading. Let's go on all sticky. So once it's tight on there, you can turn it up, and then obviously you've got where it's got that juice flow control. At the moment there's no juice going to the wicks, so you can just, when you need to, you just loosen it off a little bit, which we will go through when we go back up top. I'll just clean my hands now, they're all juicy, and we'll go back up top. I'll quickly show you the juice flow and we'll have a toot. So guys, back up, I've put it back onto my Hanna clone and all you want to do is obviously keep that tight so it's right shut down, and then you want to loosen it about half a turn just to let that juice in a little bit, and then it is a matter of loosening it or tightening it up to how you like it. So I'll provide just my airflow. I like to run the airflow completely open because it is quite a tight draw anyway. So for me, I definitely don't need that shut off any more than it is. It does whistle a little bit. Trying to get some juice in there, it's a bit dry. Shut that airflow off a sec. Better. And again, you may get some gurgling again, and it's just a matter of turning your drip tip and adjusting it to whereabouts you want it to get that perfect draw. Like I said, this wicking, the way I wick it, which is just running it through and then folding it back over and going around to the other hole, is the best way I've found to wick this so far. Like I said, I will do an up and close look on the deck, but what I'm gonna do is, I've got a coil master coming. I'm gonna wait for that, because you do really need a really tight coil to give you enough room to be moving around with your wicks. So when I receive the coil master, I was going to do a build on my tugboat that I've got coming, but I will do it on this, and I will give you a really good in-depth look then at the base and how to build it. I did struggle to try and build a small enough coil to fit in the little gap that you've got. And like I said, this is the coil that I've got in there at the moment is reading at 0.8 ohms, and I'm running it at 15 watts, and that is pretty spot on for where I like it. So we'll have a toot and then we're out. Tomorrow, no, it's Friday. Tomorrow will be no reviews. Monday, I'm hoping to sit down, because I realise I haven't done update review on the Nemesis, which I've had for like 3 months or so now. So I will sit down. I'm going to do a Nemesis update. That could be Monday. I've got a few old updates that I want to do, but obviously what I will do is, if something new comes in that I want to review, I'll just put the update back a day or so, because I do want to get the new reviews that I've got coming in. I want to get them up first, but unless I don't have anything, it will be the Nemesis update on Monday. So let's have a toot. Polish Vape UK out. And remember guys, stay safe and keep on vaping.